Bonjour, Curtis Mayfield.
Hello.
Soul Power, the name of your first album.
Yes, it is.
But before this first album, you did quite a lot of stuff, like songwriting, vocals, a lot of things. What pushed you to go, like, on the front row for the first time?
The solo record to make it. I wasn't doing anything else at the time. I wanted to actually pursue the Night Sun project that I had going on further, but because of schedules with the other musicians in the band, their touring schedules, it wasn't possible. So instead of soaking in that period of time, I decided to make an album of my own, and that's what I did. So that's why Soul Power came about.
This is something that you had in mind in a little place in your brain for a long time?
Yeah, well,
I mean, just
some of them I wrote years ago, and some of them actually came about during the actual recording process. But yeah, the idea for every song on that album was to eventually become a solo project of mine.
All the worries and days, heartache and pain, it's your brightest look, girl. You help to keep me sane, so just keep on shining, keep on shining, keep on shining bright. Just keep on shining, keep on shining. I can find and see the light.
the foundation of the album is very soul music and rhythm and blues, but with like a very wide range of that. It's like kind of a, not encyclopedia, because but we can feel like flavors from different aspects of soul music. Where you always been fan of all these aspects?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love all music. If it's good, I like it. From country to reggae, garage, punk, all of it. I love it. So,
yeah. Was it easy to create this first album? I mean, to select which song you wanted to have, the sound you wanted to have, and all that.
It was easy for me. It wasn't a struggle. I think maybe it might be the next time around, my next album, it might be harder. But I really had I had nothing stopping me, no hindrances from, I basically did what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? But I don't know, maybe for some artists it's hard, but for me it wasn't. And it was my first time actually making my own record, so it was an enjoyable process.
Cast it away, forget your pain, relax yourself, detach yourself, cast it away.
I'm sure that your personal soul music Hall of Fame is packed, but we can feel some flavor from like Curtis Mayfield to, I don't know, Willie Hutch or whatever. But who are the ones that you maybe put above, on the top of the pyramid, that touch your heart more than the others?
I don't know if I do put anyone on top of the pyramid, man. I think that it's all relevant. I think that they are all equal in soul and what they've done to me, inspiration, and they're the ancestors, man. They are the beginning, and I'm a continuation of all of that. So I don't know if I would put anyone at the top of the pyramid. I think the goal is to be just that, just a continuation, to be one of the bricks and the foundation of not just soul music, but good music. So,
is there a mission in that for you? I mean, you say that there's like a continuation, they were like the foundation and all that, and I have to do my stuff.
I'm saying I'm just a continuation of.
But is it like a mission for you in a way, to keep this tradition and this music alive?
I think it's good to have a mission. Tradition can be good and it can be bad, so I don't know if tradition is the right word. I think belief is more a belief system. I believe in good music and doing what you want to do when it comes to your art. So in that sense, that's my mission, is to not be put in a box and to continue to do what I want to do musically and artistically, and to inspire other people to do the same thing. So if I had a mission, that would be that.
Wherever you go, there you are, smiling on you from afar. Tonight you're alone, the bag ain't that strong. You stay on your own, it won't be too long.
So what about Night Sun? Is it like a project just came like that? Or is it called Alexander?
Yeah, Night Sun came about because me and Cole had a conversation in the bar about actually what I just explained, like doing something different with what we actually, the kind of music that we enjoyed, which was like soul music and psychedelic music. And we decided to record some songs. And we did that, just me and him initially at first. And then Danny Lee from the Night Beats and Joe Bradley from Black Lips as well hopped on board. And then we went into the studio and recorded like a full-length album, and it was like really good. And Berger decided to put out the 7-inch for No Pressure and On My Way, and we just got a huge buzz from that. But yeah, it just came about like that, man. It was very organic. It wasn't anything that was like contrived, or like we weren't sitting in our own houses just thinking about, you know what I mean? It's just something that just happened instantly, and we decided to go in there like the very next day after we talk about it, just record some songs. And it came about like that.
I'm walking down a beaten path. Don't know how much longer you'll last. We're on this road, it's getting cold. I'm running down a broken dream. Okay. No pressure.
So does that mean that you want to do other stuff with Night Sun, or it was just
Oh yeah, for sure,
like that, yeah?
Definitely. Like I said, the schedule with us playing shows, and actually, because the album, the songs are recorded, they have yet to be mixed and mastered. And I don't want to do it myself. I want everyone to be there because it was a collaboration. I want to make sure that we're all available and there to actually complete that project. And when we are able to play shows, I want everyone to be there because we're all involved. Like I said, it's just a matter of scheduling, us all being in the same place at one time. But I definitely want to finish that project and play shows with that project. And there are other things that I want to do as well, too, other side projects, so yes.
Like what, for example, if you can talk about it?
Oh, just writing songs and producing for other people possibly, and other bands maybe, you know. I enjoy being a part of just collaborations and collaborating. So I'm not that, you know, I'm the type of guy that wants to be collaborating all the time with someone. So I think it's fun. I think two heads are better than one.
Seems to be more in the tradition of like a musician and songwriter from like the 60s or the 70s, like Curtis Mayfield, who are doing stuff under his name, but also who are like doing some soundtracks and production and writing for some. It's essential for you to keep this wide range of artistic implication, or?
Yeah, I like to be as hands-on as possible, but I also at the same time enjoy, like I said, collaborating and being around someone who actually knows more than I do, because that's how you learn. At least that's how I learn. So I'm not opposed to having someone produce a record for me as well. It just so happened I didn't have anybody to produce my album. So I did it myself, and it worked out pretty well. You know, and I would love to do it again, but I'm not opposed to having anyone else come in and produce as well. So it's just a matter of me being able to get along with someone and vibe. So.
Are you a big music addict? Do you listen to a lot of stuff always when you're not playing music?
Yeah, I indulge in music sometimes for months, like every day, and then you know I will go like a month without listening to anything. Sometimes just listening to my own stuff and writing songs. So it comes in, it goes in spurts.
How came the Hedi Slimane connection? Him doing photos for you and all that?
He came to one of my shows in California. I was touring with the Growlers, this band called the Growlers from Cali, from Costa Mesa actually, and they do this thing called Beach Goth every year, and I was a part of that. And he came to my set, and after the set, he wanted to meet me, and I didn't know who he was at the time. Because I'm not really like into fashion or anything like that. But he asked me if he could take pictures of me the next day, and he asked me to bring my guitar, and I said I don't take pictures with my guitar. And he was like, that's the same thing Chuck Berry said. I said, well, wait a second, you know Chuck Berry? I said, yeah. Then he started like telling me, you know, basically giving me his resume, and it's like, wow, that's interesting. You know what I mean? And he came out of the Growlers pad the next day, and it was very easy and smooth. He wasn't asking me to do these weird poses or anything. He just kind of did his thing. And it was good. I liked the photos. And a couple months after that, after I went back home to Atlanta, they called me and asked me if I would like to be involved with the musical campaign and collaboration that they do for Saint Laurent, and I agreed. And they flew me out, and the rest is history. So.
What are your first musical memories as a child? You're from a family of musicians, or music was in you from the beginning, or?
Yeah, I would say so. My mom's a gospel singer, and I think my first childhood memories would be sitting in church watching her sing, and watching my sister play piano for her, and just hearing my sister sing around the house. So like I said, music was always something that was very present. My mom, she was a huge vinyl collector too, from gospel records to soul records, so she listened to a lot of vinyl. I remember her putting records on and just singing around the house, cleaning, cooking, and all that stuff too. My dad would play piano sometimes, so I remember that. I remember my sister playing piano around the house. There was always a piano or something in our house, wherever we stayed at. So.
What was the record that you personally play all day long when you were like a little kid? Sometimes little kids, you know, they used to listen to the same songs for like...
She wouldn't really let me use the records, but she would play them. I remember her playing the gospel keynotes a lot, and this other singing duo, which was another gospel group called the Consolers, and she would play those records a lot. And when I got older, I still listen to those records. I actually have those records now. But I listened to those a lot. And when I was younger, I used to love to hear those records all the time. Soul Stirs, which was one of Sam Cooke's first groups. And they're really good.
And when happens the jump between just being like an audience of your mother's vinyl collection to writing songs, having your own choice, musical choice and all that, when you were like older, when did it happen?
Probably when I was around about 17 or 18, when I was able to actually leave the nest because I left home fairly young. But when I did do that, I was, you know, I found myself in some of the darkest places you can imagine in society. But yeah, during that period, during my mid-teenage years, and I think it was a good decision. So,
who were your musical idols at that time?
At that time, I was into hip hop a lot. I was really into like Outkast and Dungeon Family, Goody Mob, Cee-Lo Green, obviously. I was into a lot of West Coast stuff, from King T, a lot of Wu-Tang. I was into a lot of hip hop, man, during that time. But also, I never forgot like the origins of why I even love music anyways, because I still thought about soul music and all that throughout that whole process. So, which is why I was a huge fan of like of Goody Mob and the Dungeon Family, because they incorporated like singing and soul riffs and soul licks into their music, into hip hop. So.
At that time, I mean, hip hop was very deep connected with, had a deep connection with soul music, R&B, and all that, which is not the case that much today.
Which is why I'm not a huge fan of a lot of contemporary hip hop. But there are some things you just have to find it, just like anything else. You just have to like dig. But what is given to the general public is not like it used to be. But I think that is getting back to the roots of what it was. Because everything happens in cycles, people. You know, they go back, so it's coming back around.
What did you keep from this Cee-Lo Green relationship, friendship, and working relationship?
What did I get from it?
Yeah.
Oh, I learned a lot, man. Singing wise, I learned a lot about how to not over-sing a song. That was something that he always stressed, to not over-sing a song, to sing it with feeling, but don't like. It's almost the equivalent of like a drummer doing a lot of fills, you know, you can just maintain the beat and you're doing just enough, you know what I mean? So I learned that, and I learned a lot about business, about some of my first touring experiences with like a band was with that whole camp and that whole situation. So I learned a lot. It's good.
Well, what are you the most proud about with this Soul Power album? Is there something that you...
The fact that I put an album together from top to bottom, that was my goal. If I had any goal, I want to make a song, a record, not a song, but a complete record from top to bottom, to where you can listen to every song. Because it was important for me to make, if you put vinyl on, you don't want to have to keep, you know, skipping to the next song. It's like I want to be able to make a record that you can put on from the beginning to the end and just let it play. And I think I achieved that. So that's what I'm most proud of, that I like it from top to bottom. I knew that if I liked it, then at least somebody else, 2 other people would like it. So.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Curtis.
Thank you. I appreciate it.